Oh, no.
No.
Brown cow.
The reigning
Unique
spade.
New York. Oh, we are live. Welcome to Abrazo TV. This is the real estate of the Union address. I got that first try. If you guys remember from the last one, it took me a while to get that one.
I like
Good.
Yes, so we are live here at the Abrazo Design Center with my lovely guests, Mackenzie Bishop and Rebecca, the design specialist.
I'm kind of like Madonna, just one word, Rebecca.
And
I like
yes, yeah, no, we're going like seal or
Seal.
If you had a soccer uniform, you'd be Brazilian because
I'd
you
be
have your first
Brazilian.
name on the back.
The thing is,
That's it.
I get scared
like
to say your
that.
last name
I like
because
that. Because
it's
we never know what it is.
kind of hard to pronounce.
And it changes a few times.
Saltmeyer?
Sotomayor.
You did it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I shouldn't have been scared. Please let us know, because this is a live show, how everything is working properly. If there is an echo, there was an echo last time. I think we did a sound check and we did it live. We thought it was a test.
It was a real
But we
sound
were
check.
live. So if you want to see that, that's still on the Abrazo Facebook page. We did not take it down. But anyways, this is a live show. We get to answer live questions. If you are tuning in live with us, you get to put them in the feed. We will be able to address them as we're going. But today we are talking design. We are talking design trends.
Yes.
What's hot?
Pretty
what's
stuff.
Not what's in, what's
All
out,
the pretty things.
what's trending. These two were just at IBS, the International Builders Show in Las Vegas, and that is truly the current state of the market. Is you're getting to see the latest and the greatest and the hottest stuff.
1.2
Absolutely.
million square feet of awesomeness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to hear about that. We are obviously at the beautiful design center, so maybe we'll do a quick little tour before we really dive into the discussion. But yeah, this is a fun show. Let's start by, I didn't even say me. I'm Shane Austin. I am the moderator, the host, whatever you want to call it, the MC, whatever you want to call it. But we are here with Rebecca. I want to talk about Rebecca real quick. She is our design specialist. And I do want to ask you, what do you do here and how did you get started here? How did this
What
become
I
a
do
thing?
here. So what I do here is help Abrazo customers and others personalize their home. So after you come into and decide you're going to build a home with Abrazo, we get to come in here and make your house your home by making it what you're wanting and what you're envisioning for the household. I got started. I was lucky enough to meet Brian randomly at a school play that his daughter was in. And we got to talking, and I started Abrazo 6 years ago now. Started off in a community and was approached by Brian and Mac to come into the design center, which was a perfect bet because I'm one of the lucky people that gets to do what they like for a living. Meaning I was one of those weirdos obsessively with the Architectural Digest subscription, with HGTV subscription, and just really enjoying how a house is put together and what that means for the family that lives in it. So it was always a good fit from day one because I get to do what I did as a hobby for a living.
Well, and I think I'll add to beyond just the design consultation and working with every single one of our customers that goes through the process from all of our communities. I think one of the things that's also, it's not really talked about a lot and our customers don't necessarily understand how important it is, but the documentation that comes out of a design appointment, and those design appointments can be anywhere from 2 to 5 hours in some cases. They can be marathons. It's crucially important that we nail that because that directly translates to how well we're able to execute the vision in the field. And we don't always get it right, but given the huge spectrum of options and things that people can do to personalize their home, that we're able to execute it as well as we do is pretty remarkable. And that starts here and that starts with you. So just a little, put it in your review
And
next
we
year,
do.
you know?
And we do. When somebody comes into the design center, they leave with all the options that they've selected in here, including an idea, because you get to dictate your grout color, you dictate how you want your tile laid on the floor, on the walls. So that vision has to be correctly translated for our construction team, for your the sales coordinator, everyone to put together the home just the way your expectations are and what you are envisioning for your family.
Exactly.
I love it. And before we really dive into, currently like different trends, because I know you're seeing a lot of people, you're seeing like what's popular, right, with our home buyers and all that stuff. I want to talk specifically about this design center because it is unique, right? We're one of the only, or the only.
I think
that have a
we're,
design,
as far as I know, we're the
in-house
only
design.
like
The
large
only at our
scale
size,
builder
yeah.
that has their own in-house design center. A lot of our competitors, they have a different way of doing it. They'll work with usually their flooring contractor will provide the design services as a third party. But we've always just insisted, literally from the day we started, when I was doing design center appointments in Microsoft Excel, we've always just insisted on doing it in-house and having control of that process, because flooring is literally a tiny category. I mean, in the grand scheme of all the different components of the house. And so we don't want to just be flooring experts. We want to be electrical experts. We want to be cabinet experts. And really, as our homeowners walk through the process, they have different priorities and different needs. And so it's nice to be able to cater to them at their level and based on what's important to them. So
absolutely. I think that with us keeping control of the design center, we can ensure the Abrazo experience, because we like to be different.
Yeah.
So when they come in, they're talking to someone that represents Abrazo, and that's not a third party. They're talking to someone that knows Abrazo, is invested in it, and believes in it. So when they come in, they get to leave knowing, okay, this person's as invested in this home as I am, because we really are. Like when they leave, I want them to move into the home and be completely happy and have what we discussed in here. Doesn't always work that way, because there's a lot of stuff happens. Construction's difficult. Right. But that's our main goal, is for somebody to come in, feel like they got the best home and with the best builder that they could build with in our area.
I love it. I'm a visual person. I'd like to kind of see it myself, and hopefully, the viewers also want to see some stuff. Maybe get some design inspo. Can you walk us through and show us a little bit of what we're looking at here?
Yeah, we can.
Let me grab the camera and we'll go. I won't be able to see the comments anymore, but we're going mobile. All right, take us through.
All right, so at Abrazo, you get to choose everything from the exterior colors of your home to the interior. So to give you a rundown of how it works in here, we'll start on the exterior. We'll work our way inside with some structural items that are still chosen here in Design Center, and then we build the house off of that. I like to start from the ground up, meaning the flooring, and then we'll add the cabinetry, the countertops, but we're always flexible to if you walked in and said you had a very specific tile you wanted to work with and base your house around, then that's what we'll do.
So do people come in with like a house profile or like a Pinterest book? Like, do you see that people are using that before they come to the design center?
Ideally.
In a perfect world, yeah.
Yeah, in a perfect world. And a lot of our sales people will actually encourage that. And I think we encourage that on our website even. Because then when you come in, you can get a vibe.
Right.
So we can
we
look
know
for
we have a starting
pattern.
point.
Yeah. Is there a pattern with the pictures that you like? Do you like wood plank floors? Do you like a more concrete flooring look? Do you like white cabinets, brown cabinets? We can look at the kind of what you're trending on your own likes and figure out why you like that specific home.
So, I mean, in addition to flooring, obviously a lot of our real estate in here is devoted to flooring. Like, what kind of other things do people get to choose from?
So again, we'll start with flooring. We go to cabinetry. Right now we carry 3 different lines of cabinets. We carry 4 different vendors for flooring. There's a lot to choose from. And that's not including carpets, which is like over 200 options alone there.
Oh my gosh.
So when you come in, it's really, actually, I had a mathematician in here that told me it was virtually impossible for one home to look the same as the other. You're choosing your grout colors, you're choosing your backsplash, you're choosing the style of cabinet, the color of cabinet, and you're choosing your paint colors and interior finishes like knobs versus levers, which kitchen faucet you want, which appliances you want. We definitely try to cater to people just really making that dream home that they're wanting with Abrazo.
Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff here. Are we constantly changing what's in here? I'm sure, I mean, just A, to stay fresh, and B, like, I'm sure stuff gets discontinued all the time. And so is that like a perpetual process, like once a year? What does that look like?
Historically, it would have been once a year, but now things have changed in the world. All of us have changed a little bit. We've had a little bit of, everyone was at home. We know that there were issues with supply chain. So that changes a lot. We were seeing changes almost on a monthly basis. So you'll see right now Abrazo is going through a big change up at the new year. I do have some blank spaces. All those boards are being cut to bring in entirely new samples, entirely new product line after going to IBS, seeing some of the trends. So we refresh on a regular basis.
Keeping it fresh.
Right.
I love it.
So we will do that based on vendor needs, but we'll also do it on trend needs or what we're seeing that our home buyers are wanting. Are they wanting more color? Do they want more neutrals? Because for Abrazo, at the very least, what we see people wanting in Los Lunas is vastly different from what we see people wanting in Rio Rancho. So we try to make sure we cater to every price point and every area and every taste.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool stuff that we're looking at right here. We're also looking at appliances, things that are new in the appliance world.
Absolutely, which there is some really cool stuff in the appliance world. And we do have some changes coming up in there as well. We have some new hoods coming in. We have some new ranges coming in. All of that's being refreshed as we speak as well. And I'll have those new samples in this spring.
Well, let's talk about what's trending if you guys want to go back here. Unless there's anything I'm missing, I think we got it all.
Let's do it.
Let me reset us up here. We'll get back. All right. So, love it. I'm glad we got to get a little walk around tour.
Did you get any comments?
Did we stay? Did we stay connected? I think we're still connected. Sweet. I didn't walk too far away from the computer. That's a good thing. So speaking of, you brought up IBS, International Builder Show.
Right.
As we're going through here, we're updating based on the trends, and you're seeing the trends. Give me some takeaways. You guys got to see the latest and the greatest. What's fresh right now?
Add where he would like. A lot of the things that we've seen in the last few years, like going really maybe monotone and grays, or, and I'll say this one, it's going to be controversial, farmhouse.
Whoa.
Or just overly fussy or quick furniture. A lot of that's kind of moving out because everyone's been spending more time since you're spending so much time in it, are going to be things you love. So it's going to be things that you've acquired either off of a memory or just things you get a lot more warmth rather than the grays. So we're seeing something warm, cozier, less fussy, meaning do we all remember those times when you had the bedroom with the big duvet and the bed skirt and 80 pillows on it?
Yeah.
A lot of that is pulled back. We've scaled it
Minimalist.
back.
Yeah.
It's going minimalist. You want something clean, so when you get home, you don't have things to fuss with. When you get home, you can relax, and that's the big focus. And that's where those warm colors come in, even those accent walls, because they're almost working like a piece of art in your home, and they add character to the home because they're showing it's very personality driven. They're showing what you like and how you want to live.
I love that.
Yeah, and I would just say, the other stuff beyond just design, smart home technology is huge. I mean,
huge.
we've taken a lot of pride in the fact that we've been doing automation systems in our homes literally since 2012 or 13.
Right.
So we've been doing it a long time. But to see the rest of the industry catch up, and more importantly, the manufacturers of the different products finally catch up and really make their stuff integrate better and integrate easier, and we can integrate more components of the home, water heaters and furnaces and things like that. And now you can turn your oven on your way home from work. So it's cool to see the smart home stuff, energy efficiency, but there's a big focus on indoor outdoor living. Huge focus on that. I think that getting outside, I think we all spent so much time inside for 2 years that now it's become this huge point of emphasis of like, I can expand my home without expanding my square footage by having that really, it's like a second living room outside because I want to spend more time outside. So big infinity doors, and even if you can't, necessarily afford these, huge glass walls, there's other options that we can use and do to really accomplish that kind of indoor-outdoor lifestyle.
Right. And sustainable. A lot was sustainable at IBS this year. It was interesting. I saw a washing machine made out of a certain percentage of plastic waste, or even more pressure or more going into the manufacturers as far as water conservancy. And it was very interesting. People were very creative this year, even more so than in the past. And I think it's, again, just that overall effect of all of us have been home and thinking, and what would we change if we could? A lot of bold colors, which I think was that reason too. Yeah. You got
People
home
got a little
and
bored.
you're needing to liven it up.
Yeah.
And New Mexico, we respond differently than a lot of the rest of the country. Some of those traditional things like moldings, we don't do here. We live our own way in New Mexico. We're very opinionated in how we like our house. And when they come in here, we answer to that more so than the national trends. And here, instead of those bright, bold colors, we might see more browns or pinks for accent walls, or more desert colors. Or we might incorporate more natural woods and more artisan type of product versus going with some of these larger companies. We have a lot of different avenues here and live in a different lifestyle than a lot of the rest of the nation, which is something we like to look at too. How are you using your house?
I love it. And thanks for the feedback coming in. We don't have the echo issue this time. It's just a little delay. As long as you guys can still hear us, then, that's just an internet thing. Yeah, we're a little delayed. That's fine. But I love the answers coming in. I do have a follow-up question. But before I do, I got a question coming in from the comments from Rita. Are you finding that homes are still multi-generational, or because folks are working from home more, they're leaning towards extra rooms for office space, which will lead me into my next question of just the floor plans in general and how we can go into designing them.
You want me to go? Sure.
In my opinion, I actually think Mackenzie would have more insight on this than myself, but in my opinion, we're seeing less multi-generational and more use for home office and even homeschooling. So whereas I don't think we'll ever see open floor plans go away, when I'm having people in here, we're seeing more mixed use of the areas they do have.
Yeah.
There are more home offices. There are more homeschooling rooms. So you may not have the area specific room of saying a guest room that you once may have had. That room now is sure a guest room when they're there. But in the meantime, we'll pull out that sofa for them. In the meantime, it's my office, because people are doing much more multi-purpose rooms, which is why we have our flex rooms and why we call them flex rooms, because they do serve multi-purpose and what your family needs.
Yeah, and I would just add, I think multi-gen kind of goes in waves. A lot of it has to do with both economic cycles and also demographic cycles. So while I think right now the focus is on other uses and flexible uses, home office, home gym is a big one that we hear a lot. Homeschooling rooms, things like that. Maybe it's a gaming room. Like we have flexible spaces in almost all of our floor plans, and they get used for a variety of different reasons. So that being said, I would say going forward, looking at the demographics and the boomer generation continuing to age out, we do see a lot of consolidation of households coming in the next 3 to 4 years. People moving back, moving closer to family. I want to be near the grandkids. I think one thing that has happened through COVID and through the pandemic is I think people realize that distance from their loved ones. And I think there's a big focus, especially with remote work and a little bit more flexible options, that now I just want to live closer to the people I care about while I have them around. So I definitely see that in the coming years, there's going to be some of that.
And I think a lot of what we see and what we offer actually addresses that as it stands. At an appointment last week, and she's moving her parents in with her, elderly parents that live out of town. And we were able to do like a walk-in shower for them because of just accessibility.
Yeah.
So those types of things we try to address for people to the extent that we can.
Yeah, no, makes sense. So, I mean, that goes into kind of that follow-up of just floor plans in general, what kind of goes in. So we talked about designs and like the little specifics, but the overall flow and functionality outside of just flex spaces, what goes into a new floor plan design, and what are you thinking about when, and I'll kind of direct this towards you, Max. I know you kind of take over a little bit of that.
So, I mean, it's a floor plan, really the genesis of a floor plan starts largely with the home site and the size of the home site, because that kind of creates the canvas and the constraints with which we can design into. Some communities have, height restrictions. We can only do single levels. Some it's wide enough that we can, get a 3-car garage in, something like that. Some are so narrow that we have to design and make a house that we feel is going to be visually appealing with a much narrower frontage on the street, which is a challenge in and of itself. So it really starts with the lot, with the home site. And then from there, we really try to take into account what we think our target demographic is going to be wanting and what they're going to be looking for, whether they want, more bedrooms, whether they want more flexible and open spaces, outdoor living, how big do the patios need to be? We have some non-negotiables when it comes to design. Every garage we've ever built has to pass the F-150 test, which it's the most popular car on the road. If you can't park a F-150 crew cab in every one of our garages, the garage isn't big enough. So, we have a minimum depth, and so that's an example.
What about Chevy?
Chevys will fit.
I know you're a Ford guy.
I know. I just have to say the most popular car on the road.
Recognize it.
And every Tesla will fit too. But I think, and there's some non-negotiables like that throughout the home design process that we always incorporate. But beyond that, I mean, it's we start with a lot, we look at our target demographic, and we really try to design around that. One of our non-negotiables is we don't have 9x9 or sub 10-foot secondary bedroom dimensions. We just don't do it because you can't actually use that room. Mm-hmm. So having secondary bedrooms, one of the comments I hear from our customers more, very commonly is the closets, walk-in closets in secondary bedrooms, and just nice size closets in those secondary bedrooms is huge. But most importantly is the size. Like, my teenage kid can have their queen size bed and actually have room in here, and it's they're not squeezing by the bed,
Right.
and they can fit their desk. And so having good secondary bedrooms, garages that work, kitchens where you actually have enough storage for all the stuff that you have, linen closets where we can accommodate them. I think the reality is most of our employees live in an Abrazo home or in the process of building one. Shane, year one. Rebecca, we're working on you.
Yeah.
We'll be there. And so having gone through that process, our employees give us great feedback about what works, what doesn't work. This is functional, this isn't. And obviously we get that from our customers too. And if we get the same request 4 or 5 different times, It's like, maybe we should just change this plan. Yeah. So, there's less now. We're to a point where we have a pretty, what I would call established product base. Now it's really more evolutionary. We're really making more tweaks. Like the Maryland just got its 3rd facelift and new options added based on feedback we've gotten from customers. And really, I think we've really refined and made one of our most popular plans ever that much better. And so, that's just one example, but we have a lot of examples like
Catherine and Audrey. And that's the thing. I think that Mackenzie, Brian, all the team that works on our plans, Joseph, I really do listen to the feedback because we walk the homes at Frame as a team and look at okay, so if there's a door here, how are you liking where that hits? If there's, it's not just that it looks good on paper. We're looking at actual functionality for people to live and use the home.
Yes.
Yeah, and just the last thing I'll add there is, you mentioned Joseph. Joseph is our lead drafter and kind of manages our product development. He's amazing. Like he's an absolute wizard. And so every single plan that we've ever built has started either on his computer or on my computer. And we've drawn everything we've ever done. And so, we utilize engineers and outside sources for the structural components, but when it comes to the actual flow and locating windows so that it's not smack in the middle of a wall that you would normally otherwise put a bed in front of, taking all that stuff into account, everything has to go through that vetting process. And the purchasing team and Rebecca and our sales team is involved in that as well. And so it definitely has a lot of filters that it goes through, but it always starts internally.
The thing that fascinated me about that process is you guys are even thinking about sun direction and how the shadows play with where you're sitting and how you can create that sense of place and that feeling. But last question before we dive into the lightning round. You better be nervous because I know this is your first lightning round. Mac's second, and he actually has some pretty good predictions. Some of them kind of came true. So we're going to get into that, but I have one last one just on just general tastes. People, I don't know how much people's tastes in different products and different things fluctuates. Is there a way to like, how do we keep pace with taste? And, is there anything that's just, you've seen that is just timeless? Like it doesn't just phase out. It's not just a fad. It is something that's going to be here to stay. But how do we keep pace with taste? How do you keep up with that?
So keeping pace with taste, a lot of the feedback from our customers in here. If I don't have something that they're wanting, that is something I need to search out and see.
And if we haven't sold something in a year,
it needs to go.
Yeah.
So, and again, there is a certain amount of pulse being kept on just on a national or a global level of what people are liking in their homes. But I feel like the number one rule for any home that you're building or moving into is, what do you want?
Right.
So they may, we say grays going out or whatever. If you love grays, the home should be gray. And we can work within those confines of like, okay, we want it to be gray, but maybe a gray that's not going to age out as quickly.
I was going to say, grays can't be going out because my wife just changed everything to go gray.
And it's not,
I don't know if we're behind pace, but
no. Well, and this is the thing, or you're ahead, because it's going to come back around.
It is gonna come
So
back.
that's the thing. So ultimately, you need to go into a home that's your home and that you're personalizing, not because of what something told you, even if it's against what you were originally envisioning. So when they come in and say they like grays, okay, that's great, but let's try to work around something that's going to be a timeless gray for you. Or farmhouse, we say going out, but farmhouse truly never goes out. It just takes on new variations. So the farmhouse
You're
of
getting ahead of the
I
lightning
know,
round.
I'm sorry.
Gosh, you must have already
the
seen
farmhouse,
script.
no. But where I'm going is things evolve. So
You stole my answer, damn it.
one person's version of a specific style may very much differ from the other. So that perspective changes by person and what it means. So we take that into consideration when they're building their house. What does that mean to you? And how can we work that in where you do have good resale, or in 10 years, you're not regretting a decision.
I love it. So we're almost at the 30-minute mark. Let's dive into the lightning round.
I thought
if
we
you're
were going to
ready.
take 5 minutes.
See,
Oh yeah.
time
All right,
flies
I'm
when you're having
ready.
When
fun.
you're talking design, you can talk to Dave,
I
right?
start to get
It is
mine.
your job.
We creatives,
So we are going to get into the lightning round, and I will say our last episode, which has been a while, we had a World Cup question, and you said France, right? And Brian said Argentina. Who was in the finals?
we
This
got
was
the
in the group
finals.
stages.
Yeah, you did.
And
This
it went,
was after Argentina just
Yeah.
lost,
and it went to penalty kicks.
and it was a penalty kick.
So we were both kind of right, but Brian was more
So
right.
no pressure, but like predictions have to stick here.
Oh,
Like
great.
you've got
We're gonna hold you to it.
I would not take me to Vegas. I would not.
What price
Opposite.
will Tesla be next year? We're gonna hold you to it.
All right, are we ready?
Ready.
Wait. I gotta put the lightning round graphic on the screen. That's very important. All right, first question, and it'll just be quick. Boom, boom, from
Okay.
each of you guys.
All right.
Gray or white?
White.
White.
Okay. Netflix or Prime?
Still Netflix for me.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, they're
It's
local,
holding strong.
and their content's just so much better.
That's good. That's true. You gotta support local, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. We did kind of answer this. We'll still ask the
We'll still
farmhouse
ask it.
question. Farmhouse. Here to stay or gone tomorrow?
Again, I mean, I know it's a wimpy answer, but I'm going to say evolving. Gone tomorrow for what today's version is, but it's evolving.
I agree with that. I think that not just farmhouse style, but all of the styles are evolving. And what I would say almost they're like becoming
Century modern sofa. Like
Yeah.
there's just different ways to do
Exactly.
it, which is again going back to that personalizing your home. You don't
Exactly.
have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Roosters out, cows are in. All right. Movie on the couch or at the theater?
Couch.
Your couch.
I'm a sucker for the theater experience.
Okay.
There's nothing like,
what movie right now? What's the latest? What was the last movie you guys saw?
last movie I saw, this is terrible.
In
I want to go see Cocaine Bear because I just want to. But
you may be the only person in the history of
No,
to say
it's-
I want to go
it's
see
hilarious.
Cocaine Bear."
I want to see it at Flicks for obvious reasons. But I saw Avatar, and
Ooh.
it is.
Got to see that one in theaters.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
incredible.
that's
That's
one you have to see.
Okay,
That's
even the
incredible.
couch.
Yeah, even the couch has to see that in
Okay.
theaters.
It's amazing.
Ooh, do you have a latest on the couch? What did you watch on the couch? today?
I mean, what did I watch? Nothing new on the couch. That's the one thing that
Just
the couch
chilling?
kind of defits. I won't pay for the new ones on the couch.
Oh, okay.
But
It's gotta
I'll
be free.
rewatch the old
We'll
ones.
rewatch the old ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Tile or wood floors?
In New Mexico, tile.
I have 2 dogs tile, 100%.
Yeah,
Ti-
I like tile.
Wood look tile.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh, there you
Let's
go.
clarify.
Good, good. Dream vacation spot. I know you're a traveler.
I have not been anywhere that I don't like, and that's not a lie or an exaggeration. But right now, I have 2 friends in Bora Bora, and I could not be more jealous.
Oh.
I was just looking at their pictures this morning, and both of them, Wendy and Erica, if you're watching, you're dead to me because I should be there. And
It's amazing.
it does look, that is my new dream vacation.
Oh, I love it.
I was going to say Bora Bora, but
Were you really?
yeah.
Oh, that's
Out of
weird.
all the
With a
places.
hut
I
over the
know,
water.
yeah.
But Maldives is on the list too.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's
pretty
good.
awesome.
That's like
That's
The
a good
European
one.
Bora Bora, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Speaking of European, royal family or Harry and Meghan?
Oh, royal family.
I love that this made it. Royal family for sure.
Don't get me started with
And
Harry
if
and Meghan.
and if you haven't had a chance to see, this is a bad plug, but if you haven't had a chance to see the new South Park episode about Harry and Meghan,
I'm excited.
you have to watch
Once we
it. It
cut,
made
that's
headlines
going
when
on my
when I heard
screen.
that Meghan was like in an uproar about this episode. I was like,
Then that's why you
I
have
have
to
to go
it.
watch it. Yeah. So
By the way, I
Should
think
not
in
enough
the
what we're
comments,
about.
people should chime in on their answers as well. You
Yeah.
guys can participate in this lightning round because I'm having fun with it. I don't know if you guys are. You guys are obviously having a terrible time with this. All right, last one, but it's a big one.
All right.
Celeb crush.
Oh man.
You know,
You're allowed to say this.
I mean,
Okay.
my children
I
may
love you.
say like,
Yeah.
my children will be like, who does mom not have a crush on? I'm gonna go right now. The number 1 is Idris Elba.
Wow.
He's just,
Okay.
he's just pretty.
He is pretty.
Yeah, he's just
He's put
pretty.
together.
But in that like,
The man's man.
yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
My beautiful wife knows this, but Mila Kunis is
Oh, boy.
for
I
sure.
like how you had
Well,
to
there's similarities.
transition.
Oh, babe, I love you.
I love it. I want to hear everybody else's. Oh, we got Rip.
Rip,
Denise
okay.
is referencing my dog, Ripley, obviously. No.
No,
If you watch
she's-
Yellowstone,
Rip.
Rip is the man.
I have
That might be
I have a
Chris's.
celebrity
I might
crush
have a
Well,
for
he
Rip,
goes
too.
back to that man thing I was saying
Oh, yeah.
though,
Yeah.
with the Rip.
And we got some support with royal family as well. So we do have some people chiming in on the
I
lightning
like it.
round.
I like it.
I love it. That's all I got. I gotta say, we have a saying here at Abrazo is Uno Abrazo. And I just want to say, unless there's anything else, just like on your heart, you have to get on it because I know you love being on camera and you want
Yeah,
to keep
that's
the
my
spotlight
favorite.
as long as possible. This is the
Yeah.
greatest part about Rebecca.
I'll sing and dance.
Is that it's
I'll-
live. We forced her to stay on camera because usually when we're just recording it, she says a line, walks off
I'm
camera.
out.
You
We're
can't walk
done.
off.
We
You're
are
stuck
done.
here.
You're stuck.
Oh, I knew you were going to
Um,
get me sometime.
You did good. You did great.
He
I
was paid
appreciate
to
you.
say that, though.
I
He
appreciate
was
you,
paid to say
you
that.
guys both taking the time here to show off the beautiful design center and talk about current trends right now. I think the viewers like that. And even if you're not participating live, still add in questions in the comments. We'll get to them
Yeah.
when we get to get a chance. And we just say thanks for tuning in today. Until next time, whenever that'll be. I think it was a few months before the last episode. We'll be on at some point talking about another topic to keep you up with the latest current state of the market. That's what this show is all about. So otherwise, and if you guys have a show topic that you want to discuss, let us know in the comments as well. And maybe we will move it into a show. So yeah, you guys have any
Sure.
last final thoughts before we send this thing off?
No,
No,
come
this has been
visit.
awesome.
It's a lot of fun in here. Come visit us,
All righty.
or me.
Until next time, Un Abrazo.
Un Abrazo. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.